The first song we wrote for Fancy Footwork. Let's see if he remembers. No?
Putting me on the spot right here.
Don't remember?
Nope.
Tenderoni.
Tenderoni.
Yeah.
Tenderoni.
When we came out with Chromeo, we wanted to play like 80s nights at like office parties. Like we didn't want to be current. We wanted to play at SOBs, you know, like 80s Latin Thursdays. Like we wanted to play.
We wanted to play at night moves in London.
I think like on the funk tip, it was like Minneapolis sound, the Minneapolis sound. A little bit of like Hall & Oates and Phil Collins, and then French electro music, or even like we were listening to like Mastercraft. I mean, all that stuff that was coming out, and we were like, okay, cool.
You know, they would take fewer things than we did.
You mean from where? From the 80s?
From the 80s, or from their influences. You know, we would start where they stopped and take it all the way.
Well, yeah, we wanted to be a little more savage with it. So we started doing it in your mom's basement.
Yeah.
Basically, we do like sleepovers, you know?
He loved my basement.
I love the basement. But it was like a true teenage, like Step Brothers. It was like Step Brothers, the movie, like really. I mean, Fancy Footwork was like the album where we basically learned or taught ourselves how to write songs, I guess, right? Yeah. I mean, and also like the lyrical persona of Chromeo came together on that album. The narrator is going to be this like schmucky, neurotic, romantic type, you know? And that's sort of where I developed it.
But if you let her see that fancy footwork, show her that you're not that shy. Let her see that fancy footwork, show her you're that type of guy.
I mean, I just feel bad because like my academic career really put P through hell because he had to accommodate to it. I was doing an intensive Latin program in the summer 2005. And P was like, that's cool. I'm going to come and set up a studio in New York. So he brought all our equipment in the back of his RAV4 by himself, walked it up. How many floors was it?
Oh my God.
Do you remember?
It was 7 floors?
Walked it up, a 7-story walk up. In this loft building in Williamsburg. Mm-hmm. We did a bunch of work, and you were like sleeping on the floor, even, right?
Yeah.
Remember?
I literally showered in the fire hydrant once. That was Williamsburg, 2006.
And then, to make things worse, I go and like, oh yeah, by the way, Pete, also, I'm moving to Paris in September, so we're gonna have to finish this album remotely. You know, all our friends over there were making music, and there was a huge buzz on, you know, sort of like this new wave of French electronic music. By the end of 2006, like around the holidays, we were done with the Fancy Footwork album. I think a lot of music from that year had kind of a similar, you know, I want to say like sort of glitchy, distorted vibe in electronic music, right? That was like,
and we came in with a super clean sound,
Yeah.
super reverbed out when everything was really aggressive.
Yeah, we had to explain to people in the electronic music what this was, you know, like in the electronic music community, like what this is this like, there was so much gravitas around electronic music at that time still. And so we had to be like, but wait, like these people are doing songs with vocals. I mean, even vocals over electronic music were like rare.
She says a reminder of her father, and I know she likes it. She wants a man that's got his game locked.
The engineer is always a better musician than the band, right? Like, as it happens. It's like when you're touring and like the roadie's always a shredder, you know? But the engineer was like, let me try one, you remember?
This is the alternate.
Just a
Ow! You remember? He was like, I'll try one.
just a ow.
Should have taken his. Yeah. That's a little. We had an album before Fancy Footwork that no one liked, or that didn't do so well, and I think that made us humble forever.
Our music was always sort of sideways to everything, you know.
Like
we were borrowing stuff, but making it our own and keeping in line with our initial set of influences.
You're right. We were able to navigate between the indie world and the electronic world, you know, and kind of like provide an interesting contrast to whatever was really popping at the moment. It's going to be interesting to see how our music is going to fare this time around with Playboi Carti and Lil Uzi fans, but like I think there's always room for funk. Like people, you know, like
you infuse it and you sort of, you know, bounce off of what's happening at the moment and you infuse the funk. You look at what's happening and you're like, oh, you guys are doing this. Well, remember that too, you know, and then we just complete the picture.